Other very interesting personalities. Rupert Murdoch. Give us a glimpse of what Rupert Murdoch wanted to do in India, what happened.
Well, I hope Krishan don't lose his job because the publisher is owned by Mr. Murdoch now, who is publishing this book.
HarperCollins is a Rupert Murdoch company.
Naturally, Mr. Murdoch, I admire him. I respect him because he is also a very determined individual. Whatever he decides to go, he does it. He goes for it, no matter what happens. And his business model is naturally to dominate the media in any country he operates. And in India, he entered through partnership with us. It was an equal partnership. I was certainly warned by the international industry people that you are going to dance with the devil. Are you ready for it? But I think...
Hi. Welcome.
Thank you. So, but he then offered me to buy out and I refused to sell because I felt that media business for India is not only a simply business. I think, I have seen the days when first Zee was launched. Vallabh knows about that. We still have in our warehouse the letters. Those time in 1991, people used to write through the postcards and things like that. Email was just beginning. We have tons of them. And people have written with their blood a letter about Zee. They took the ownership of Zee with them. If we would do something wrong, next morning we will have, a third day we will have at least 2,000 letters that why did you do this on that day? That kind of ownership was there. So when Mr. Murdoch offered me to buy out, and money was not small. It was in 97, he offered me 50,000 crores to buy out my 50%, close to that kind of number. But I said, no, India is not for sale.
There you are. There in essence you have the man. He's content with 17,000 crores and refused 50,000. Put that in, it's a comparative fact. The interesting thing I think the audience will really love to know. Everyone knows about Kaun Banega Crorepati, right? That show was offered to you first, wasn't it?
Yeah, to our company.
Why didn't you take it? It is the biggest success, I think, in Indian television, and you turned it down.
Not me, it was professionally management was there that time, and they decided in their wisdom, no, not to take it. There's nothing right or wrong. Now it is sounding wrong because it was successful, so that's okay.
But the managing director who didn't take it lost his job.
Yes, he did.
No. What intrigues me, and I have to ask this, our friendship is strong enough to bear these questions.
Yes.
But what intrigues me is that for all the reputation that tycoons have, can a managing director take such a decision without consulting you?
I think my colleagues will vouch for it. A lot of decisions they do take, but at times, if I come to know that there is some wrong decision happening, I do intervene. There is no question about it.
Now a little bit, how much time do you have left, Krishan? What's that?
20 minutes.
Good. So this is the time I think we need to take a break, bring in Mr. Bhansali also into it, because, there is a very fascinating personal life behind the business story. And if the perhaps the central fact of his personal life is a discipline called Vipassana. And I don't know if anyone knows how devoted Subhash is to Vipassana. Would you like to talk about it? And I know you would also like to talk about it.
Sure.
So why don't you, aap kahein and then we'll take it on.
Well, Vipassana is
I think the kids personally should know about it.
yes, a form of meditation as taught by Gautama the Buddha. And I got it from my Reverend teacher S.N. Goenka in 1990. And since then I'm practicing it. In between there was a 2-year gap, I would say, but that keeps me quite well, I wouldn't say completely equanimous, but I try to be equanimous. And that's what this first step of Vipassana meditation is. Of course, Vallabhbhai is more advanced than me in this.
No, just before that, tell them 30 days of silence.
Yes, 30 days.
Think about it.
30 days of not only silence, but there's no phone, there's no television, no newspaper. Actually, when you are in that place, you talk to only your teacher. And with other inmates and who are also in meditation, normally you're not supposed to even make the eye contact. So that's we call it as Arya Mon, is the word we use.
What is the experience like? Aap kahein?
It's very interesting that over my 60-year plus existence, I came to realize that whenever we are dealing with anybody, actually you're dealing with yourself. And this self, you know very little about. And Vipassana gives you a chance to examine what this self is. And of course, since very few people even know how to begin to know oneself, it's not easy, so it makes some effort to start doing it. But those who are able to get to the level where you start understanding yourself, your mental makeup, your physical makeup, your intellectual makeup, you can imagine the power, the peace, the facility that one gets. And having experienced this, it is 10 days, 20 days, 30 days of... These rules are actually just sounding very daunting to those who have not come into it. But I think we take to it very, very easily. And we all long to go back for longer courses. So it's extremely liberating, enlightening.
It certainly sounds daunting to me. Because I can't think of a journalist who will keep silent for 15 seconds. Let alone 30 days. Why don't you send some of your journalists on this course?
Well, we have a rule in our group that anybody going for Vipassana is treated on job.
As part of his...
Yes, and a lot of people are going.
Yeah.
Might end up with silent news, half an hour.
Mahatma Gandhi, I'm sure you're aware, and if you're not, you should be. Every week on Mondays, he would observe complete silence. He would not talk to anyone. Even when he was negotiating with the British, negotiating with Lord Irwin, and if the talks they were continued on a Monday, he would answer through a written chit. In writing, he would not talk. And I remember, pardon this intrusion, but I remember when he first came to India after South Africa, and he was exploring and trying to find out what to do. And Gopal Krishna Gokhale told him that if you want to understand this country, keep quiet for 1 year. Keep your mouth shut for 1 year and keep your eyes